So, is this the one? Yeah, we got to do it in this order first. So, on to possibly one of the most important people in our society today. And that's crazy to say that because we've literally watched homie just boom over the last few years from his developments with electric vehicles, EV vehicles, um, power sources, they power houses, solar panels, making many tiny homes, and even to the point where he's making spaceships and stuff now. Now, keep in mind, he bought Twitter, changed it to X. There are several things that also Dogecoin. Can't forget fucking Dogecoin. With what he's doing in the political system right now with Doge is damn near guaranteed to do what he said is going to do years ago, which is go to the moon. There's no way, and for those of you who do not know, Donald Trump has appointed Elon Musk to be a part of his team in the side of the White House. That is major. So anything Elon Musk touches is going to turn to gold, such as Dogecoin, such as Tesla, such as SpaceX. It will behoove people to get in early on certain situations that you still can't. Like even Tesla, they stock not too crazy right now, but Doge for sure, especially because they're making it a government organization. But let's get into this. Let's get into it.
Of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Oh,
Reading on next quote.
I forgot. That's why I picked this clip. Man, all my credit repair gurus, all my consumer law people. Elon Musk is planning on removing the Consumer Protection Bureau. So, what does that mean for your business? I really want to hear what y'all got to say about this. Let's get into this clip for sure.
Delete CFPB. There are too many duplicative regulatory agencies. The CFPB was created as part of the 2010 Dodd-Frank Act after the financial crisis by Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren to oversee parts of the financial industry that interact with consumers. Some say the agency is highly politicized, damaging, and unaccountable. During Trump's first term, he took steps to neutralize this agency, easing its enforcement of the banks. Musk also is asking users on X if the IRS should be, quote, deleted after the agency said its enforcement fund is $20 billion short after budget cuts. Biden's deputy Treasury Secretary urging Congress to, quote, pay up. You can see in that poll, over 60% of X users said they think the agency's budget should be deleted. John Lansky, your reaction to that. Let's start with the IRS.
Okay, the IRS could be run more efficiently without any question. Maybe their technology is dated. They could update in that sense and help save money and better serve the American people. I don't know about completely eliminating the IRS. What's going to take its place? My goodness. What are you going to have? Private tax collectors like they did back in biblical times?
I think what he's talking about is eliminating Elizabeth Warren.
Right.
We're talking about the CFPB. So, I mean, that's okay. Elizabeth Warren, she came to fame. She became, Miss TV darling, so she thinks, after the financial crisis. Remember this, okay? But that's all she's been able to hang her hat on. That was the financial crisis was 2007, 2008. We have moved on. I don't think that she has. And I would argue that there's enough regulation on the books with the banking industry that you actually could eliminate that agency.
Best thing in my 20-year career in government, I've seen this many, many times. And this is a very healthy discussion to have right now. Yeah. And what it does is it says to the existing agency, so how are you going to justify your existence? Sing for your supper. But then it also begs the other question. If you eliminated it, would you need to replace it? And that's really the zero-sum game that you have to take a look at. What are we going to do if we don't have this functionality? But to your point, Cheryl, this is an agency that has all of the regulatory responsibilities handled by other agencies. It's not like if this goes away, suddenly the U.S. consumer is going to walk into a bank and say, pay us 20% interest. No, that's not going to happen.
Mike is making a great point. What he's speaking about is redundancy in the federal government.
Yeah.
When we have redundancy in the private sector and corporations, what happens?
Waste of
Certain
money.
departments, jobs get eliminated. And maybe there is room for a lot of cutting as far as agencies are concerned and individuals.
Well, I mean, look, I got to go back to this Elizabeth Warren thing, because her entire political mantra has been greedy corporate. She's gone after the banking sector for nearly 20 years now. And I think that Musk makes a great point that maybe time is up for her. Now, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget is trying to help DOJ make cuts. They say the federal deficit could be slashed by $1.4 trillion over the next decade by reversing some of President Biden's executive actions. Now, their report notes, unlike most reduction measures, reversing costly executive actions would not require congressional action, true, and could be done through the rulemaking process. The CFPB says up to $550 billion can be saved by eliminating Biden's plans to forgive student loan debt, including the Save Income-Driven Repayment Program, which could save up to $275 billion alone. $385 billion could be saved by targeting Biden's health care executive actions, $180 billion by reversing changes to the SNAP food stamp program, $150 billion from gutting vehicle carbon emission rules. That's a lot.
Hold on. Hold on. They're moving quick. Let's look at this. Pending student loan handout plans. Y'all student loans will be gone. Excuse me, the student loan forgiveness will be gone. You'll have to figure that out. Healthcare. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with them not liking how Obamacare was made from the Heritage Act, and it is very costly for the United States in order to provide that. Even though there are countries like Canada who provide healthcare for free, I'm pretty sure it's implemented into their taxation. And then we have food stamps, 180 billion. Does that mean food stamps will go away? Will they change it? Will they get more strict with the requirements for somebody to get it? What does that mean for food stamps? And then vehicle carbon emission rules. I'm pretty sure that that has to do something with some of the laws that they're implementing as it pertains to electric vehicles versus motor vehicles and emission laws. This is going to be interesting, especially for all my people back home in Michigan, the plants. Let's hear more. Good.
Long list, John Lonsky.
That is a long list. And unfortunately, you're probably going to get some opposition because there are people that are benefiting from these regulations. Okay. They're benefiting from this spending. They don't want to give it up.
As in private businesses and industries?
Yeah,
or are you talking
I'm thinking of the
about
auto
government
industry.
employees?
You know, the auto industry has perhaps spent something like $120 billion on investments in being able to produce EVs and the batteries that go into electric vehicles. They're not going to want to write off $120 billion all that quickly. So
the EV mandates, though, no one has bought electric cars.
Yeah.
The consumers rejected it. The EV mandates are just nothing but, I think, just government handouts and you know who's not benefiting from that? Elon Musk, of all people.
Yeah, he's going ahead and he's pushing for the elimination of these subsidies that buyers of electric vehicles get. So this, I mean, you can't say that he's doing this for his own benefit. That's important to note. He's trying to help the United States out, and maybe with his genius, he could go ahead and pull something off where we do get this $1.4 trillion reduction in the deficit over 10 years.
I mean, $2 trillion. I mean, that's what when Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk first started talking about this, it was $2 trillion. Now, the mainstream media is scoffing at them.
You know, so what shouldn't be lost is their approach. So notice how they're going after executive orders, as opposed to we're going to try to get the Congress to reject what they've done beforehand. So because they can go, if you go after Congress and you try to say pass a law that takes out these existing laws, very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
Whereas if
Oh, baby. So y'all just see. The crazy thing is, Elon is not the president. It's almost like, and I have like a weird appreciation for Donald Trump and the way he moves. It's like, I love boss behavior from people. I love masculine people more so. So like when it comes to like Donald Trump, I have an admiration for Donald Trump and the aspect in which he moves and how he's been able to direct the United States and also build good relationships. And you see like for him to put Elon Musk in that position, but the type of willpower and control that Elon Musk is an international powerhouse. Elon Musk has more influence than Donald Trump, but they're still high influence, but it's influence in other ways. And Donald Trump was very bright for bringing him in, but everybody not feeling the same way. So let's see it.
Has just broken some new news. This has just come out from the Associated Press. This is incredible. Trump administration officials have been sending babies and other young children. Oh, hold on. To at least 3. Oh. Can we put up the graphic of this?
Far right-wing billionaires like Elon Musk and right-wing media and anti-woman manosphere podcasts are creating social media or gaming social media apps like X Twitter in Trump's favor and pumping disinformation into the brains of Trump supporters. Not quite foreign interference, but not exactly different from what Vladimir Putin would do. And in many ways, the disinformation campaign is working. Remember, Mark Esper, who was Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense for a while, told him, no, you cannot shoot American citizens. You can't have the military shoot American citizens. He's going to replace people in the Department of Defense with people who will say you can, and that you can deploy the military against protesters, that you can arrest journalists for reporting things that Donald Trump doesn't like, that sort of thing, right?
That is exactly right. One of the things that Roosevelt did after he sort of left the administration in this sort of interregnum period that he's had, and has been referenced with that 180-day agenda, is that they have been building out the legal documentation, what they consider to be the legal documentation, to justify internally the deployment of the military. I know it sounds hysterical. How can we possibly? This sounds so outrageous. No, this is part of the plan. Like that, they literally wrote a plan down and then prepared all the supporting documentation so they could check off that box.
I think Musk is becoming like first buddy. You know, he's hanging around. Foreign leaders call. Trump puts him on the phone with him. He brings his family to Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't want a job, right? And I think in a funny way, Donald Trump is sort of in awe of Elon Musk because he's so rich.
What do you make of this? They fashion themselves on social media as this legion of superheroes, this incoming administration. Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., et cetera, et cetera. I guess we're adding pictures and names. I know you now you're looking at me like you mean the Legion of Doom.
It's the Marvel universe versus second-rate DC, but that's. I mean, if I understood what that meant, I would probably have a better opinion about it. But if we're talking about like,
talk to me about Musk.
Right after it was very clear Donald Trump was the president-elect, he starts tweeting like, you are the new media to all of the folks on X, like CNN, mainstream media is extinct. And this was our plan to ruin. And I think that platforms like X and Facebook and all the social media platforms do help when they're used properly to democratize microphones for people to have a voice. But it is very clear since Elon has taken over that the algorithms are working in a couple of ways that are causing greater division in our community. Scott and I sometimes sit next to each other and he has a totally different feed than I have because we're getting fed things that it thinks we want. Right. And they're very polarizing our feeds. And then we also have people who get lifted up more and they happen to be people who agree with Donald Trump, and people who don't agree with Donald Trump get shadow banned. That's not really the media. That's a platform and you can do whatever you want, but the influence that it does have. I'm not just talking about Twitter. I'm talking about TikTok. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about Facebook. There's an issue here.
So did they just say that the right is censoring the left, shadow banning the left, even though Facebook is being sued for that right now? and admitted to doing that. I think actually Google is being sued for that as well. And that's why they stopped doing that. We even got an email about that.
Twitter were super left. I mean,
75% actually. That's why he fired everybody. And now the fact that, see, look, when you give people these privileges, like whenever it's dominant on the left on X and on all these social media platforms and all these things, like she just said, in reverse though, whenever they make it back normal to the middle, it appears to be right-leaning because it was so far left. But it really is just now everybody has a voice.
So the talk of the weekend, guys. People was talking about Elon Musk buying MSNBC.
That would be crazy. That would be hilarious.
Everybody's been in on it. Donald Trump Jr. said, hey, at Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever.
It would be hilarious.
So
how much do it cost?
How much?
You know, he's for real too, you know.
Yeah, they put some money behind Twitter. So
yeah,
Comcast, it says Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. So that'll be actually insane. Like seeing all those like recent clips we just heard.
It's gonna be funny.
I don't see no reason why they can't get fired. Like all
if y'all want to save y'all network,
like Joy Reid has to be the first to go.
First.
Actually, they need to like televise her firing. Joy Reid,
like when LeBron went to the Heat.
You gotta go. Hey, Joe Rogan on MSNBC, like, hey, we need this bag, bro. Think about it, bro. Like, why is Rachel, like the lady that was crying on the first clip, why is her contract was for like 30 million?
That's great.
Like nobody, and she gets on a platform that actually like a biased platform. I mean, it's actually not biased.
How about
and people don't love? You know
one of these
saying?
days, bro.
Hey, 30 million,
these people, these networks are gonna get smart. And they're gonna
care
take
about
somebody
that.
like, I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but somebody like us who built a platform on our own because we vibe with the people and we tell the truth, other than just some paid actors who are literally puppets for